The alien girl at the gate asterisk. It was late. The colony sky was dark, filled with cold rain and quiet thunder. Kai walked alone down the narrow road beside the refugee zone. His boots were soaked, his jacket pulled tight. Another long day. He was tired. As he passed the metal gate near Sector 9, he heard something strange, a voice, soft, broken. Please, don't leave me here. He stopped. Kai turned slowly. Near the gate stood a girl. No, not fully human. Her skin had a faint, violet glow under the rain. Her silver hair stuck to her cheeks. She wore torn clothes. Shaking in the cold. Her eyes were wide with fear. I'll bear your offspring, she whispered, her voice cracking. Just don't throw me out. Kai didn't speak. The words hit him hard, like a punch to the chest. What was she saying? Before he could answer, she stepped back, as if afraid he would shout. Her hands covered her stomach, as if protecting herself. Guards were coming. Kai heard boots behind him. He looked at the girl again. Her lips trembled. I'd have nowhere to go, she said softly. They will take me, kill me. I'm not safe out here. Kai acted fast. He didn't know why. Something inside him moved. This way, he said. Follow me. She hesitated, then ran after him through the side path behind the cargo yard. They reached a locked door. Kai entered a code. It clicked open. Inside, it was dark and quiet. An old storage bay filled with broken tools and empty crates. Stay here, he said. Don't move. The girl sat in the corner, pulling her knees close. Water dripped from her hair onto the floor. Kai locked the door behind them. What's your name? He asked. She looked up. Her voice was low. Shira. How old are you? 19 cycles. Maybe 20. I don't know your time. Why were you at the gate? I escaped from the transport camp. They were going to sell me. Kai frowned. Sell you? You're not a slave. This is a peace colony. Peace? Shira gave a sad laugh. Only for some, not for people like me. Kai didn't know what to say. Her skin was marked with small glowing dots, signs of an alien race he didn't recognize. Her wrists had bruises. One ankle was swollen. Why did you say those words to me? He asked quietly. About bearing a child. She lowered her eyes. Because I heard that human males protect those who carry their child. I was trying to survive. Kai stayed silent. He looked at her closely. She was scared, but not broken. Something deep was still alive inside her. I don't want to use you, she added quickly. I just didn't want to die tonight. The rain outside got louder. The wind whistled through cracks in the walls. Kai sat down across from her. You'll stay here tonight, he said. We'll figure something out tomorrow. Shira nodded slowly. Then she whispered, Why did you help me? Kai thought about it. He didn't have an answer. Maybe it was her eyes. Maybe the fear in her voice. Or maybe he was tired of walking past pain like it wasn't his problem. I don't know, he said. I just couldn't leave you there. She gave a tiny smile, the first real one he saw on her face. Thank you, she said. For a moment, the storage bay felt warm. Kai didn't know that outside, the red lights were blinking on a scanner. Someone had seen her. Someone was already coming, and inside Shira's blood, something old, something powerful, was waking up. Asterisk, a secret worth killing. Forth. Next morning came slow. Pale sunlight touched the edge of the broken colony roof. Inside the storage bay, Kai opened his eyes. The floor was cold. Shira was still curled in the corner, asleep, arms wrapped around herself. He got up and checked the door. It was still locked, but something felt wrong. A soft hum buzzed in the air. Kai stepped outside and looked up. A small drone hovered in the sky, silent, dark, watching. His heart sank. Someone new. He ran back inside. Shira, he said quickly, wake up. Her eyes opened fast. She sat up, alert. What is it? Drone outside. Someone's tracking this place. Shira's face changed. Not fear. Something deeper. A quiet panic. They found me, she whispered. They always do. Kai stared at her. Who is they? She touched the side of her neck, pulling back her collar. A mark glowed faintly under her skin. A line of symbols, bright blue. My blood is tagged. Royal line. Ancient house. The last of it. Royal? Kai stepped back. You're from one of the noble alien tribes. She nodded slowly. My mother was a queen. Her line was wiped out by the Alliance. They feared what she carried inside her. Kai didn't understand. But why? Because we are not just rulers, she said. We are carriers. Carriers of what? The gift. Kai's eyes narrowed. What gift? Shira looked away. Before she could answer, the wall buzzed. Someone outside pressed the panel. Kai froze. A voice came from the speaker. Open up. This is security patrol. Shira's breath caught. She whispered, don't open. They'll take me. Kai moved to the door, speaking through the panel. What's the problem? Someone saw movement near this sector. We're scanning for refugees, open for inspection. Kai looked at Shira. Her hands were shaking. She mouthed, please. He made a choice. Nothing here. Kai said, this bay is empty. It's under repair. A pause. You've got 10 minutes to report to command. Or we come in. Kai waited until their footsteps faded. Then he turned to her. You need to tell me everything. Shira stood. She wasn't crying now. Her voice was calm, like someone used to running. My kind is almost gone, she said. But we were never just leaders. Long ago, our bodies were designed to carry hybrid children, to merge with other species. Our offspring could reshape peace or destroy it. Kai stared at her. You mean, your child? Yes, she whispered. That's why I begged you, not to trap you, but because your DNA matches the ancient code. It's rare, very rare. He couldn't believe what he was hearing. This wasn't just about safety anymore. This was about something bigger, something old and dangerous. So if they catch you, they'll kill me before the child ever exists. Kai stepped back. His hands were shaking now. This was too much. Why me? He asked. Why did you come to me? Because you have the one thing they can't predict, she said. Mercy, outside. Another drone passed. Kai looked at her. She looked at him. We need to move, he said. Where? Somewhere they don't scan. The waste tunnels. Shira nodded. As they pack supplies, she whispered, thank you for believing me. He didn't answer. He wasn't sure he believed her yet, but he knew this. The way they hunted her, the fear in her voice, the glow on her skin, it was real, and someone out there was ready to kill for her secret. Asterisk betrayal at midnight. Asterisk. Night returned with silence. The colony sky was black, stars hidden behind clouds. Inside a quiet supply room near the waste tunnels, Kai sat with Shira, checking the scanner device he stole from his old job. Still clear, he said. No. Drones near us for now. Shira sat close, wrapped in an old jacket. Her eyes looked tired, but her body was alert, like she hadn't truly rested in years. Kai single quotes as comm device buzzed. He looked down. A message, urgent, from Yannick. Kai's heart paused. Yannick, his old squad mate, the only man he ever trusted during the war. Why now? He opened the message. Need to talk. It's important. Coming to you. Kai looked at Shira. Stay here. I'll be right outside. Someone I know is coming. She touched his arm. Who? Yannick. He's an old friend. Shira didn't look relaxed. They sometimes use friends. Kai gave a small nod and stepped out. Within minutes, a figure appeared in the dim light. Tall, strong, military steps. Yannick, Kai said. Yannick smiled and hugged him hard. Kai, my brother, still alive. Good to see you. They stepped into the shadows beside the fence. You're in trouble, Yannick said softly. You're harboring something dangerous. Kai didn't respond. Yannick's voice grew colder. A girl, alien, purple blood, glowing eyes. Kai kept his face still. Who told you? We got images, drone pics, and we know you helped her escape. Kai looked at him carefully. What does command want? They want her. Badly. Dead or captured. Why? Because she's part of something old. Yannick said, I don't know all the truth, but people in high places are scared of her kind. So they're hunting a girl. Kai said, a refugee. She's not a refugee, Kai. She's a royal weapon. Kai didn't answer. Yannick stepped closer. Look, I'm trying to help you. Turn her in. Take the reward. It's big. You can leave this dump. Go anywhere. Kai asked, what happens if I say no? Yannick's eyes hardened. Then you're a traitor. And we treat traitors the same as enemies. Kai's chest tightened. He smiled a little. Some things never change. Huh. Yannick's hand moved near his weapon belt. I won't ask again. But before he could draw, a flash, a bolt of blue light hit the wall beside them. Yannick ducked. Kai turned fast. Shira stood behind them, holding an old energy pistol. Her hands were shaking. Step away from him, she said. Yannick looked at her. shocked. You don't even know what you are. He growled at her. You think he's protecting you? He'll turn to. They all do. Not him, Shira said quietly. Kai looked at her. Surprised. Yannick stepped back. This isn't over, Kai. He turned and ran into the darkness. Kai looked at Shira. How did you? I followed you, she said. I was afraid. He nodded slowly. Good thing you did. They packed fast and left the area. The waste. Tunnels were dark, filled with broken machines and old pipes. They climbed down into the maze below the colony. Deep inside, they found a room with no cameras. Old, dusty, but safe. Kai lit a lamp. They sat down. Both were quiet. He was your friend, Shira said. Was. Kai replied. After a long silence. She said softly, I never had friends or choices. I was born in chains. Kai looked at her carefully. Then maybe it's time someone gave. You both. Her eyes shimmered, not with light, but something softer, emotion. She whispered, you don't even know what you're offering. Then tell me. She leaned forward. My mother carried a secret, she said. A bloodline with power. It can unlock something old, a force sealed long ago, deep in space. But only if joined with human DNA. Kai blinked. You mean, the child? Yes, she said. It's not just about survival. It's about what the child can awaken. Kai sat back. His world had changed. What started as a simple act of kindness had become a war between bloodlines, armies, and forgotten powers. And he was in the middle of it now. The choice. The air in the tunnels was heavy and cold. Kai sat near the corner of the small room, staring at the old steel walls. Shira sat across from him, watching his face. He had not spoken in a while. Her words still echoed in his head. The child can awaken something powerful, something ancient. He rubbed his hands together, thinking hard. You said this child, this future child, can unlock a weapon? He asked slowly. Shira shook her head. Not a weapon. Not in the way you think. It's a force. It can bring peace or bring destruction. It depends on who controls it. Kai leaned forward. Why? Does it have to be a human father? Because your blood carries something rare, a pattern, a code lost in other species. Only with that, the gate can be opened. Kai stood and paced the room. He had fought in wars. He had killed. But this was different. He was being asked to choose a future, not just for himself, but maybe for worlds. He turned to her. Do you want this child? Or are you just doing it for peace? Shira looked down. I want peace. I want freedom. I want to stop running. Then she looked at him. But I don't want to be forced again. I would never choose that for myself. Or for you. Kai sat back down. I don't know what's right anymore. A soft beep came from his device. He pulled it out. A scan alert. Military. Patrols were entering Tunnel Zone 3. Close. We have to move, he said quickly. They're scanning this sector. Shira nodded. Where do we go now? Kai looked at the old map burned into the wall. He pointed to an old cargo bay near the edge of the colony. This place, abandoned. It used to be a research lab. What? Did they research? She asked. Kai paused. Alien genetics? Shira's face grew still. They packed their things fast and moved through the dark pipes. Every step echoed like thunder. When they reached the lab, the door was rusted shut. Kai forced it open. Inside, the lights flickered. The walls were lined with old machines, broken stasis pods, and dried blood on the floor. What happened here? Shira asked softly. This was where they tested cross-species bonds, Kai said. But the program was shut down. Too dangerous. She touched one of the pods. My mother spoke of places like this, where queens were taken, forced to breed. With soldiers, Kai clenched his fists. I'm sorry, you didn't do it, she replied gently. But he still felt anger inside. Shame, too. They sat in silence for a while. Then Shira said, you have a choice, not just about me, but about what you believe. Do you think humans and aliens can ever live together as equals? Kai looked at her, really looked. I don't know, he said, but I know this. I want to be the kind of man who tries. She gave him a small smile. Then let's try. Suddenly, a loud crash came from above. They both jumped. A voice shouted through a speaker. You are surrounded. Come out now, or we come in shooting. Kai pulled her behind a broken lab table. He whispered, they found us, but we're not giving up. Shira nodded. Then we fight. Kai looked at her. Or we escape. He opened a floor hatch that led to the old underground lab system. Before they climbed down, he looked into her eyes. I'm not turning you in, he said. Not ever. Why, she asked. Kai didn't hesitate. Because for the first time in my life, I believe in something bigger than survival. Asterisk. Hunted across the stars. Asterisk. The escape was fast. Fire rained from the ceiling as the lab exploded behind them. Kai held Shira's hand tightly as they ran through the underground tunnels. They reached an old hangar beneath the colony, a place forgotten by most. Inside, under a dusty tarp, was an old shuttle. Rusted, broken in places, but still whole. Can it fly? Shira asked, out of breath. Kai opened the panel. Lights flickered. Maybe, he said. If we're lucky. Sirens echoed above them. Footsteps. More soldiers were coming. Kai jumped into the pilot's seat. Shira took the co-pilot's side. He pressed the ignition. Nothing. Again. Nothing. Come on, Kai whispered. One last time. The engine roared to life. We're up, he shouted. They blasted through the upper hatch. Metal tore open. Alarms screamed, and the shuttle flew out into the night sky like a dying bird. Lasers followed them, red lines of death. Hold on, Kai shouted as they turned sharply, diving between tall colony towers. The chase was wild. Drones behind them, ships ahead. We're not gonna make it, Shira said quietly. Kai shook his head. Yes, we will. He flipped a switch. An emergency warp beacon lit up. A last resort. One jump to anywhere the stars could send them. This might throw us into space dust, Kai warned. Better than being caught, she replied. They activated it. White light swallowed everything. Then silence. They woke hours later, floating above a dead moon. The shuttle was damaged, engines offline. Where are we? Shira asked. Kai looked at the readings. Sector 12, edge of known space. This place hasn't had life in centuries. We're safe for now. They landed on the moon's surface. It was gray and quiet. Nothing but dust and ruins. There's a shelter mark nearby, Kai said. Old monks used to live here. They walked through the ruins until they reached a cave entrance, glowing faintly with power. Inside stood an old alien man, eyes glowing gold. You carry the blood of queens, he said to Shira. And you, human, carry something rarer. Choice. They followed him into the cave. Candles lit the path. Statues of old alien leaders lined the walls. Your child will change things, the monk said. But only if raised with honor. Double quotes. Kai asked. Do you know what's inside Shira? Yes, the monk nodded. The old flame, the light that unites. Her people once ruled. Now she runs. But her child must not run, the monk showed. Then a hidden chamber. In the center lay a sword, silver, glowing with ancient energy. This belongs to the guardian, he said. It can only be lifted by one with a pure heart. Kai stepped forward. He reached for the sword. It rose. The monk smiled. Then it is you. Kai was stunned. Shira looked at him with quiet pride. But the peace didn't last. A sound came from outside. A tracker drone. It had followed their jump path. They're here, Shira whispered. We fight, Kai said, lifting the sword. The monk shook his head. No, I will hold them back. You must go. Take the ship below the temple. It still works. Kai hesitated. You'll die. I lived long enough, the monk said. Go. Kai and Shira ran down a secret path, found the ship, and launched. As they flew away, they saw fire light the sky behind them. The monk was gone, but his last words stayed with them. Raise the child with honor. Asterisk the child and the crown. Asterisk they found a home on a desert world. It was dry, empty, and quiet. The sky was always gold. Far from war, far from soldiers. Kai and Shira lived in a small hut made from scrap and stone. He worked at a salvage field, trading parts for food. She rested. Her body was changing. She was pregnant. Kai watched over her every day. He cooked. He cleaned. He stayed close. He didn't know what kind of future they were walking toward, but he knew he wouldn't walk away. From it, Shira began to have dreams, strange ones. She would wake in the middle of the night, sweating, her eyes wide. Fire, she whispered. I see fire, and a crown made of stars. Kai held her hand. Just a dream. But he knew there were more than that. One day, a trader arrived with news. The royal family's last bloodline is still alive. Bounty has doubled. Kai's heart sank. They were still being hunted. That night, Shira told him, I want to go home. Double quotes. Kai blinked. Your home is gone. Not the palace, she said. The planet. The place where the crown lies buried. It's the only way to end the chase. He was silent. We can't keep running forever, she added. Our child deserves better. The next day, they left. The journey was long, through star debris, past dead zones. Finally, they reached her world. Her home planet was quiet now, broken. Ruins floated over black sand. They landed near an old temple covered in vines and ash. Inside, everything was silent. Shira led him to a door deep below. This is the gate, she said. My mother spoke of it. They say it listens only to blood and truth. Kai touched the stone. It was warm. Symbols lit up, soft gold light. But the gate didn't open. Shira stepped forward. Her skin glowed blue. Her voice sang a short code in her old tongue. Nothing. She stepped back. It's not enough. Kai looked at her. You said our child is the key, he said. Maybe it has to be alive. Shira held her stomach. Then we wait. Weeks passed. Kai built a fire near the gate. They slept beside it. One night, Shira screamed. Kai jumped up. What is it? It's coming, she gasped. Too early. He panicked. He had no medical tools, no support, just his hands and love. Hours passed. Her screams echoed through the ruins. The planet itself seemed to shake. Finally, in the middle of the ancient hall, a cry was heard. Their child was born. A baby boy. Small, warm, breathing. His eyes opened and glowed both human gold and alien blue. Kai held him, shaking. Shira was weak, very weak, her skin pale, her breath shallow. Stay with me, she whispered. Kai knelt beside her. You're not leaving. You need to raise him, she said. Raise him with love, not fear. Kai nodded, tears in his eyes. We'll do it together. But her body was limp. Shira, please. The child began to cry. And the gate, the ancient stone gate behind them, began to glow. Light shot from the boy's body toward the wall. It cracked open, revealing a bright chamber. Inside was no weapon. No machine. Just a message, written in light. Peace begins not with blood or war, but with a child loved by both. Kai stood, holding his son. He walked inside the chamber. His sword glowed once more. Outside the temple, ships arrived, but none fired, because in that moment, every scanner, every watchtower, every sensor heard a single signal from the crown. Gate. A call for unity. Stay with me. The sky above the broken temple was no longer silent. Ships hovered, but did not attack. Soldiers stepped out, but did not raise weapons. They had all received the same signal from the ancient gate. Peace is born, not built. Protect the child. Protect the bond. Kai stood on the temple steps, holding the baby. His hands were steady. His heart was full and afraid. Inside the temple, Shira lay still, her eyes barely open, her breath soft and fading. He knelt beside her. You did it, he whispered. He's here. He's safe. She gave a faint smile. He has your eyes. He has your strength, Kai replied. The child blinked, tiny hands reaching toward his mother. Shira touched his cheek, barely able to lift her hand. You will live free, not in chains, not in fear. Kai held her hand tight. Stay with me, he whispered. Shira looked into his eyes. Tears shimmered in hers. I want to, but I'm tired. Kai, so tired. He lowered his head. I need you. He needs you. Outside, the wind grew quiet. It was as if the planet itself was listening. Then, something happened. The baby placed his tiny hand on Shira's chest. A soft blue light glowed beneath his fingers. It spread slowly, wrapping her body in warmth. Her breath grew deeper. Her skin changed, less pale, more alive. Kai stared, afraid to believe it. Shira blinked. Her voice returned, stronger. What was that? Kai looked at the baby, amazed. I think he saved you. Shira laughed softly, weak but real, already stronger than us. They stayed together like that, holding each other, holding the child, surrounded by the light of the old crown gate. Days passed. News of the event spread fast. To leaders, one human, one alien, arrived at the temple. They had been enemies for years. But now, they stood in silence, watching the child sleep. Kai stood before them, no weapon, no threat. What now? One of them asked. Kai spoke clearly. Raise this child with us. Protect him. Learn from him, or this chance will die. The alien leader nodded. We agree. The old war must end. From that moment, things began to change. New laws were written. Old enemies shook hands. Schools were built on both sides, teaching peace, not power, and the child, they named him Elon. Elon grew fast. He learned to walk early, to speak in both tongues, and when he smiled, people forgot their anger. When he laughed, people forgave. And when he stood between soldiers one day, only 5 years old, holding up his small hands and saying no more, they all laid down their weapons. Years passed. Kai became a respected leader, not a soldier, but a teacher. Shira healed. She walked beside him, proud and strong. They visited ruins and rebuilt them. They raised Elon not as a prince, but as a symbol of what was possible. When kindness won over fear. One evening, as stars lit the desert sky, Kai sat with Shira on the temple steps. Elon played nearby, drawing shapes in the sand. Shira looked at Kai. Do you ever regret it? Kai smiled. Never. Not even when they hunted us, when we almost died. He looked at her. Because we lived, he said, and we gave him a chance. She leaned her head on his shoulder. Thank you for staying, she whispered. Kai kissed her forehead. You said not to throw you out. He said softly. I chose to stay. They watched their child run, laugh, and reach for the stars. And in that moment, they knew peace wasn't a gift. It was a choice.